Okay, welcome back everyone, Zaf here. We have a video on the new hunter Hansame. Should you summon for her, should you not? And if you do, what point, oh my goodness, what point should you, oh my goodness, these skins, Netmarble, oh, the virus is loving it. But Hansame, should you get it to A1, should you get it to A0, A5, A3, what's the most beneficial point to her? Should you even summon for her? That's a question, so let's go over that. Very important, you do not want to waste your rate up tickets because as you know, Gogunhe is coming out in a week's time. Yes, that's correct. He's already in our codex. You can see him right here. Gogunhe. He's ready to go. Hahaha. Sorry, I gotta stop doing that. But he's ready to go, so you gotta make sure you don't waste your rate up tickets. Just for reference, it took me 420 rate up draw tickets to get it to A5, exactly, not trying to be funny, it was actually 420, and honestly, if we're being honest, 420 summons does not come cheap. My wallet is so hurting, but honestly, Hansame is worth it. Well, to an extent, of course, which we will cover, A1, A3, A5, what should you go for? Those are generally the best points, and I think Hansame will surprise you. And also a big shout out to Zanroff when you first commented on our last video. Here is your shout out and enjoy your juicy Discord role. And before I do forget, do not forget to support us on Netmarble Supporter Program. We're almost at 10,000 supporters. Thank you everyone. So make sure you support. I still have a lot of essence codes to give out, so you don't want to miss out. Now going back to the game, there's one important thing you do have to note. Hansame will be useless to you if you don't have Mirai. That's true. If you're missing Mirai, there isn't really a point to summon Hansame, honestly speaking, because if we look at her advancements and look at her skills, you can see there is a consistent theme. The first being, she provides wind bonuses to your team right here. Look, 10% wind, 20% wind damage. That's a big deal. These only apply to elemental weakness. So let's say you're facing a mob who's, let's say, weak to water, strong to fire, but neutral to wind. This bonus would not apply. This bonus would not apply. Anything providing a wind damage bonus would not apply. This applies though. Additional increasing wind team members, basic skill damage, this doesn't matter. But anytime you see the wind damage type or any elemental type damage, this does not apply unless they're weak to this typing. It's honestly something people do forget quite often, so please note, if you're facing a regular mob, and let's say you advance your Hansame from A3 to A4 to A5, the only bonus you would see is the 10% attack bonus. So, with that said, let's say you're free to play. What should you go for? You have Mirai to A2, A3, A1 even, and you want to get Hansame to Sporter. What is the ideal advancement point? So, her A0 is actually quite strong. Basic skill damage by 10%, which is a direct buff for Mirai. You have to remember, Mirai's two basic skills are her main DPS source, very important. So A0 is honestly very good, but A1, that's where things get a little bit more juicy. You have to know, whenever anyone on your team uses their ultimate skill, they get a 20-second buff, okay? It's called the Steady Breath. It provides you up to 10% crit after 10 seconds and 10% crit damage after 10 seconds, and it charges your power gauge by 1% every second. So her A1 bonus alone is so strong. A2 obviously is useless. She does not need the HP scaling. Not important at all. And I do have to admit, Hansame's A2 bonus is quite lackluster. It only provides her a 10% HP bonus, but if you look at someone like Malin, you can see their A2 bonus wasn't too bad. 8% attack to all team members, and defense as well, and also a double bonus to water elemental types. Kinda sad we didn't get that here, which is fine. We do technically get it later at our A4 bonus, where Malin's A4 bonus, if you look at it here, you can see she has the reverse bonus, which I don't like. That makes her A2 a bit more weak than other hunters, that being Hansame, but it's fine, it is what it is. So her A2 bonus is weak, her A3 bonus, very situational, extremely situational. Look, basically, When the user's HP is 1 or below, within the golden metal zone, they become immortal for 2 seconds. When the immortal effect ends, they recover HP equal to 30% of Hansame's max HP, and it only happens once every battle. So this is only for those modes where you're dying on, and you need that additional survivability. But honestly, there isn't really a mode like that besides the latest guild boss, where your hunters will potentially die depending on how much DPS you do. So this can come in clutch for that bonus damage, squeezing that in. But for most people, this is just technically useless. So her A2 is useless, her A3 is useless as well, her A4 is fine, but you need to go through 2 additional advancements just to get a 10% wind damage bonus. Again, only applying for the elemental type. That is not worth it if you ask me. Now, do not get me wrong, her A5 bonus is probably one of the best we've seen in a while, providing a 10% attack bonus and also a 20% wind damage bonus, and the only condition is you tag her out. So that's why if you apply Blessing Set on her, for example, the Curse Blessing Set, you swap her out and you give your hunters, who are wind of course, a major bonus. You can see if Blessing Sets, let me show you. When you tag someone out, that's a 20% increase in damage activates when tagging out the user. Very strong. So 20% here, and then another 20% here for wind elemental types. Pretty strong. So honestly, for me, there's only 2 points where you should get her. If you're free to play and even like a dolphin or a low spender, I think A1 is honestly enough. There was not a substantial gain from A2, A3, even A4. 10% is so minimal. It's just a 10% bonus, nothing fancy. So it's honestly very lackluster. Her A5 obviously comes in clutch. This is a good bonus, but really to go through all these advancements just to get this bonus here, this is one of the least value-oriented hunters we've had in a very long time. It's either A1, even A0, her A0 is good, so A0, A1, or A5. There is honestly no in between, unless the immortality state becomes viable. It's only for 2 seconds though. Unless this becomes viable, I honestly do not see most people summoning for her. Gogun, he's coming out, and he's going to be very strong. So this is not looking like a value-oriented hunter. Just my opinion, but for artifact sets, I do want to cover them as well. It's honestly quite simple. She's just a support unit, so Blessing Set would work so well for her, but you have to remember, although Blessing Set is very good, the 4 set effect providing a 10% damage buff, the 8 set of course providing 20%, both good, but there are other artifacts you have to consider. There is that new artifact set, let me show you, if I can find it here. I think it's called the Sylph's Blessing, if I got that correct, yeah. Sylph's Blessing, apply, look at this. 5% weakness damage, if you have the 4 set, stacks up to 3 times, providing you 15% bonus damage. That's pretty good if you ask me. And honestly, you're only using Hansame with Mirai when you do have the elemental buff, so this is perfect if you ask me. They just go hand in hand. You have to remember you are tagging her out. The duration of his skill lasts 60 seconds, so it's not too bad. You'll have the bonus for quite some time. So this is one set you can use. And also we do have the recommended set option here, let's see. Yeah, I agree, Outstanding Connection is also a very good set. 28% damage bonus, very strong. 28% attack bonus, it's very strong. Another set that would work, let me just show you here. I do want to pump it up. Would honestly be Angel in White. Not too bad. And that's just because of the 4 set effect. It does provide us more heals, and Hansame does heal a lot, so it can come in useful at one point in time. And also the 8% damage bonus to the teammate with the highest power, which will obviously be Mirai in this case. So this is not too bad. Same thing with Noble Sacrifice. It's not going to be the best, it's not going to be the worst of course, providing us an 8% attack bonus, so not too bad, but with the 4 set blessing effect, honestly, it's not too bad. The only con in my opinion, it's a 10% duration. So unless you're going for the full 8 set effect, where you're getting 20% for 20 seconds, there might honestly be better options. Outstanding Connection providing 20% attack, and then you can pair it up with Noble Sacrifice or the other set providing an 8% attack bonus, for example. So you do have to weigh all your options here. Burning Blessing is good, but there is a lot of choices out there. Especially because she's not focused just to buffing your team, she's strictly looking at win units, making the other sets actually more viable in my opinion. But again, lots to choose from. I honestly feel like attack bonuses scale the best. Outstanding Connection is not that bad, personally speaking. The condition is pretty easy. Just tag out the team member. And for Hansame, you do have to remember, some of her passives right here do rely on tagging out, so Outstanding Connection would not be too bad at all. Her skills don't require anything too specific though. As you can see, she just provides heals, shields here, the protection zone, etc. Her QT, again, the same thing, providing shields, providing mana bonuses. So you have to remember, Hansame is not focused on buffing herself, she's focused on buffing your hunters. That's the most important part. So whenever you think artifact stats, you're just worried about what provides the biggest buff to Mirei. That's truly the most important. And for stats, honestly, very standard, just HP, that's all you need. There's no real gimmicks here. You can go with healing given increase, although they are removing the artifact stat, so nothing else to really go for. HP is just a stat you want to look for on her. And also, I do want to mention her weapon is not too high on the priority list. If we look at her weapon here, let me show you. Let's go to crafting, go to your weapon, right over here, coming of age. And as you can see at the max level, it's only a 5% bonus for 10 seconds to targets hit by Hansame skill. So honestly speaking, it's not the most needed hunter weapon, but it's not too bad, though it is pretty weak. We do have Ko's weapon here, and as you can see the difference, it provides a 10% light damage bonus, where Hansame is a 5% global buff. So that specification really provides a big difference. But anyways, again, I don't recommend crafting it straight up using a regular material. Just get it through the event, much more worth it. But honestly, Hansame's A1 is all you need, truly speaking. Getting your to A5 is just a whale task, so do spend responsibly. You have to remember, Gogun, he is coming very soon, and he's looking to be a very powerful unit, and his advancements definitely do matter. So if you enjoy, do drop your like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way I do know you want more videos like this. This was Zaf signing out.